Hello again, Doran Markowitz here from D Guitars Miami with another edition of This Week in Cool Guitar Repairs. This week's particular instrument is a Yamaha bass, formerly a BB, what was this? A BBG5S that, I say formerly because I'll get to why it's got a different neck on it in a moment. This bass came to me from a client in the Turks and Caicos Islands that it was in seriously bad shape. When I'm talking seriously bad shape, I had to replace the neck because of extensive water damage that caused it to backbow so severely that no matter what I tried to do, heat pressing it and so on, I could never get it to be straight. I don't think you can tell, but this neck is severely backbowed. Also, look at the headstock. The headstock is supposed to align straight, and as you can see, it's pulling forward. There's a lot of water damage on it. I had done an intense cleanup job to get what looked like tar off of the back of the neck, to no avail. I replaced the original tuners that it had with these gold ones. Okay, the neck was dead on the water. I mean, I had it clamped for about 3.5 weeks to no avail. I had to also replace the original bridge, which was completely corroded. It had all gold hardware. The bridge was shot, so I put on this nice new black bridge that strings through the top, as you can see here. The original electronics were active, and it had metallic gold knobs that were green and corroded. I got rid of all the active circuitry. The battery was basically, it was turning into green powder. I mean, it was just so deteriorated, it was horrible. So because of the nature of where the client lives, with the living right near the salt air, active circuitry was not a good idea. So what I did was I removed all the electronics, and I redid all the electronics with passive circuitry, master volume and tone for the neck pickup and volume and tone for the bridge pickup. These are, you know, high impedance passive pickups that we're using an active preamp, so that's a plus. That meant that I could rewire it passive, and it sounds great. I installed a new jack. I cleaned up the neck plate as best as I could, considering how corroded it was. Let's get to the neck. The neck came from a surrogate bass that I ordered for the client. It was actually cheaper to do it that way than ordering a whole new neck. Because it's a 24 fret neck, whichever one we're looking at, I was limited on options. I couldn't just get a typical Fender 5-string replacement neck because that's only 20 frets, maybe 21 if you're lucky. So I was able to find a Kona bass, which played very well, and I got it for less, like I said, than a replacement neck would cost. And it's slightly narrower than the original. So if you notice here, I made special shims that surrounded the neck, that are glued into the body, that the neck wedged into very nicely. I also had to build up the end of the fingerboard because the Yamaha is flush at the end. You notice the maple and the rosewood are flush. This surrogate neck had, you know, a fretboard overhang. So I crafted a new piece that glued to the neck itself in the pocket. By the time I was done, it plays fantastic. It's you know, I did a full setup on it. The intonation, the truss rod, everything, and that's the neck pickup playing through a little Gorilla guitar amp. As you can hear it, it almost wants to kill the speaker. A little, you know, 10-watt amp, but I can blend in the bridge pickup. And just the bridge pickup by itself. Tone control for the bridge is rolled off. Smooth jazz. Now I rolled off the tone on both pickups. Now just the neck pickup with the tone rolled off. customer is going to be pleased. It's got a nice variety of tones to it. Call me a traditionalist or whatever. I'm not big on active basses anyway. I'm not big on batteries. My attitude has always been, you know, if a passive jazz bass was good enough for Jaco Pastorius, then I think a passive bass is good enough for me too. But it's not my bass, it's a customer's bass. And I had to take into consideration the fact that because of where they live, I mean, the original electronics, they're over here somewhere. I didn't even want to show it to you because they're completely green and disgusting. The corrosion was bad, just bad. So given that, I opted for this because I thought it would be the best solution. If you have a decent amp and you have a passive bass, you can always turn it up a little more in the amp and you can equalize it effectively. There are so many things that can be done. But it's a nice bass. You can see that the action is really comfortable. It's just a breath under 3/32 of an inch, which is highly advised. That's the Carvin standard, 3/32 of an inch. That's the industry standard, and it's nice and low without being buzzy. It's not too high. It's comfortable. So that's it. I also installed new strap buttons because the original strap buttons were corroded. I went with black. I wanted to use black as much as I could because that's more resistant to corrosion than gold. I'm kind of glad this came with chrome tuners because these are going to resist corrosion much more than the gold-plated tuners that the Yamaha neck inherited that I'll be giving back. Because, you know, with the salt spray and everything, you want to see what the original tuners look like? This is just bad. Wait, that's one of the other ones. Yeah, this is one of the original tuners. You can see the corrosion on the washer that mounts. It's rust actually. You can see the bubbling on the button, how it's just the plating is starting to corrode, and that happens much faster because of the salt spray. Some of these are even worse than others. You can see the green inside certain areas. The original bridge is just even worse. You know, it was considered a hopeless case. I don't look at it that way. Here's the bridge. Look at all that rust. I mean, that's just... Yeah, I could have cleaned it up, and I did try to, but the problem was, now that it's been exposed, even if I clean it, if I treat it, whatever, being basically now bare metal, it'll corrode again even faster. So this way, it has a fighting chance with, you know, black chrome plate. I mean, black plated chrome, and you know, chrome tuners. Everything is new. Everything's shiny, so it'll hold. Anyway, enough of my yakking. Until next time, thanks for watching. And should you need work such as this done, bringing an instrument back to life from the dead, whether it's a bass, whether it's a guitar, whatever, new frets, new hardware, etc., etc., don't hesitate to give me a call at 305-896-1811. Till next time, Doran Markowitz from D Guitars Miami. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.